Hello, healthy ones. It's another beautiful day of me being with you, ladies. Welcome once more to Nyango, a safe place for mothers and the motherhood guide. Today, this live is going to be a very short one. Please, if you're around, just say hello so I can see you. And I'm going to make it really, really short. I'm talking about a topic today which a lot of mothers don't take it into consideration until they are fallen victim of a child who is not sleeping all night till maybe 9 months or a year. That is when they start looking for solutions, like exactly what happened to me. Because what our parents will tell us is, the child will start sleeping at a certain point. Or what my moms would say is that if the child is not sleeping, it's because maybe there's something wrong with the child's stomach, so they should give the child enema, that is pump. But that's not always the case. We have to try to sleep train our kids. Wow. So I have two views instead of one. Say me hello to Gray. Thank you so much for joining, Lady Rudy. I didn't expect to see a lot of people here. Normally, they'll rush to this video in later times. Like someone like me, before I gave birth, I knew nothing about sleep training. And it is until my baby got to about 8 months, 9 months, and she still wasn't sleeping all night. That's when I was like, no, this can't be going on. We need to look for a solution. That's what pushed me to go do or learn about sleep training. So today we are going to be talking about healthy sleep for babies and mommies, because when your kid is not sleeping well, there is definitely no way you're sleeping well. And if you are a married lady, it will be very detrimental to your marriage if your baby is not sleeping well, because you can only make time for your partner when your baby is sleeping well, right? If I'm communicating with you, please leave a comment, leave a like, leave something. I see a little problem. Let me reconnect, please. Okay, I had a little complication, so I was just trying to fix it. So today we're going to be talking about healthy sleep for mother and baby. As I said before, if your baby is not sleeping well, there's no way you're sleeping well. So let's get right into it. First, you have to know that babies spend a lot of their time while in the home sleeping. From about 38 to 40 weeks of pregnancy, your baby is spending about 80 to 95% of their time sleeping. So at that point, they cannot differentiate between daytime and night. And it goes the same for when you give birth to them. That is why newborn babies don't sleep all night. And it is something which is very disturbing, but we have to understand that for the first months of birth, it's very normal. It's very normal for your baby not to sleep all night. It's normal, so you don't have to worry about it. But most babies will start sleeping all night between 3 to 6 months. So if your baby is not sleeping all night between 3 to 6 months, then you have to start looking for a solution. And today I'm going to give you a lot of solutions which you can try for your baby if your baby isn't sleeping all night. I use these same tips to work on my set of twins, because the boy showed to have good sleeping habits very early. He slept for the first time all night when he was I think 3 months. Yes, 3 months. That day I was so amazed. Like, he didn't wake up in the night. And looking at the way their beds were placed, normally when my girl gets up, she'll wake up her brother. Or when the boy gets up, he'll wake up his sister. So it was very, very difficult to get them to sleep at the same time, because maybe when one person is sleeping, the other one doesn't want to sleep. That's the most difficult part about putting twin babies to sleep. And if I succeeded with my twin babies, then you can too. You definitely can. And today I'm going to be teaching you all you need to know about helping you make your baby sleep if you're facing that kind of problem. I really wish I could have some mothers of twin babies here because they are the ones who face this problem the most. And normally, as our African parents will tell us, your baby is going to sleep. After some time, your baby is going to sleep. But until you experience what we experienced, you won't know how hard it is to actually make a baby sleep. So that said, today I'm actually going to tell you the amount of sleep, first, the amount of sleep which your baby needs. I'm going to be telling you the amount of sleep which your baby needs. So let's go down to it. From 0 to 3 months, your baby needs about 14 to 17 hours of sleep. Yes. If you're worried, because most times mothers will get worried if their babies are sleeping enough. If you're worried if your baby is sleeping enough, all you can do is track your baby's sleep. Check how long your baby sleeps during the day, and also how long your baby sleeps at night. So from 0 to 3 months, your baby needs 14 to 17 hours of sleep, and your baby will sleep most of this sleep at night, but they will hardly sleep all through the night. They'll sleep approximately 4 to 3 hours and wake up and then sleep again, but they'll sleep for a total of about 8 to 10 hours in the night, and then the remaining part will be done during their naps during the day. And for babies 0 to 3 months, they will have multiple naps. Like they can nap up to 3 to 6 times within the day. Now, from 4 to 11 months, your baby needs 12 to 15 hours of sleep. Your baby needs 12 to 15 hours of sleep. Oh, okay. 12 to 15 hours. Oh my, what is that? Okay. And most of this sleep will still be done at night, but a large part of it will be done during the day as well. Between 4 to 11 months, your baby will still be sleeping about 3 to 4 naps. Now the naps are reducing as time goes on. So between 4 to 11 months, your baby will be sleeping 3 and most 3 naps. By the time your baby is getting to a year and 2 years, the naps might reduce to 1, or if it is much, just 2 during the day. And at this point, your baby needs 11 to 14 hours of sleep. We need to note that sleep is very, very important for the brain development of a child. I obviously knew that not so many mothers will be here. Like I said before, mothers will wait till they get to the point where they are facing this problem before they start looking for solutions, which is not a good thing. We always have to try to get the information, necessary information which we need, so that when the time comes, we can just implement instead of waiting till it gets worse, maybe till 9 months, and your baby is still sleeping and waking up in the night about 6 to 7 times. Your baby waking up in the night is not really a big problem, irrespective to your baby. It won't cause any sicknesses or anything serious. But for you, the mother, and your family, once the baby is not sleeping, it's difficult for you to catch any sleep or rest. In the beginning, it might not cause any serious issues, but as time goes on, you might realize that you don't have energy to keep up with taking care of your baby. And you have to understand that your baby is your first priority. When you give birth to a baby, you're tempted to put him or her first and forget about yourself. You might feel like, okay, let me just forget about the sleep. You might feel, at times you might feel even selfish for thinking of wanting to take a break and have some rest. But it is okay for you to rest, because it's in your best interest and in the best interest of your family for you to have some rest and for you to sleep properly. And if your baby is not sleeping properly, you won't be able to sleep properly. Okay, from 3 to 5 years, your child will be sleeping between 10 to 13 hours, and you have to try as much as possible to make them to catch enough sleep, because during the time of sleep is when their brain develops, and that is also the time when they can memorize, their memory can remember all the activities of the day and make a certain pattern with them. Okay, I would like us to realize that Fluctuations in sleeping habits for newborn babies is normal. It doesn't pose a problem. But when your baby starts getting to 4 months, 6 months, 9 months, and your baby is not sleeping well, you need to start sleep training your baby. Now, let's go on. Now, there are some effects that sleep can have on your marriage, on your relationship. Because when you just give birth to a baby, it's the first thing, he or she is the first thing that comes to your mind. And if your baby is not okay, your baby is crying, then you can't concentrate to even eat with your partner, not to talk of do other things. So this time, when you become a new parent, is a time when a lot of marriages go through stress. But some people will just push it out and just claim that everything is okay. But these are things that we have to try working on. At this point in your marriage, when you become new parents, or when you have a child who obviously will be waking up at night and depriving you of having maybe some private time with your partner, first you have to try to work hard. Both of you have to try to work hard to build your relationship. Be honest with each other and try to help each other as much as possible. And we move on. As I said before, I'm going to give you tips on what you need to do for your baby to sleep all night. I hope no one here has gotten to that point where your baby's not sleeping all night and then you're struggling, because I wish to help mothers before that time comes. So we are going to get right into it. First, there are two main types of sleep, which are REM sleep and non-REM sleep. That is REM, which stands for rapid eye movement, and non-rapid eye movement sleep. Children mostly sleep in the rapid eye movement sleep. That is why with any little noise, they are up. And if you don't understand this, you won't understand how to put your baby to sleep. So, as I said before, babies spend about 90% of their time while sleeping REM sleep, the rapid eye movement. And during this period, there is high temperature, there is fast breathing. Those are examples that you can take to tell if your baby is sleeping REM sleep or non-REM sleep. Non-REM sleep is the deep sleep. And babies usually dream during the period of REM sleep. That is rapid eye movement sleep, which is a lighter form of sleeping. And we cannot tell what babies dream about. Sometimes you hear them cry in their dream. That is just a replay of what happened during the day. Maybe the baby fell, or maybe somebody shouted and the baby heard a strange noise. It can replay in their dream and make them to cry very heavily while sleeping. Now, let me go to tips for helping you to make your baby sleep. Okay, for number one, the first thing which will make you start worrying if your baby needs to sleep is when you think your baby is not sleeping well. Hello, Lady Joycelyn, welcome, welcome. The first thing that will make you start worrying, or it is very normal, first of all, for mothers to worry if their babies are sleeping well, since you don't know how much sleep your baby is supposed to sleep at the given ages. That is why I gave it earlier before coming to the tips to helping your baby sleep. Okay, thank you, thank you. Oh, thanks to Lady Josephine. I can see your comments. You're commenting from YouTube. Okay, do you have issues with your baby sleeping? Do you have issues with motherhood, whatever issues? Just drop your message and I'll try to get back to you as fast as possible. Okay, let's go on. When you realize or you're worried that your baby isn't sleeping well, the first thing you have to do is try to track your baby's sleep. This is not what African moms do most times. But before it gets to a stage where it gets bad and you're looking for solutions and it's like you're not sleeping anymore at night, please try to track your baby's sleep. The next thing you can do is, if you have realized that your baby isn't sleeping well or is not sleeping up to the thing you can do is try to create a sleep routine which you can stick to. It is difficult to create a sleep routine for a baby. That is why for you to create a sleep routine, you first of all have to track and understand the baby's sleep pattern. For example, most babies between 0 to 3 months sleep 3 to 6 naps within the day. So you can track it this way. Maybe your baby wakes up at 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning. And for me, I give my babies their shower that early, 6 a.m. Before 7 a.m. they have bathed. So maybe by that time, as they wake up, you breastfeed them, you give them a bath, you dress them, and after that, normally they would sleep. So when they sleep, that is their first nap. So they'll probably sleep from maybe 8:30 or 9 o'clock till maybe 11:30 or 12. That is their first nap. And as they get up, you probably breastfeed them, change them, and then maybe you cuddle them for a while. And something which is very common with babies is this. Excuse me. When you cuddle them, feed them, you change them, immediately they feel comfortable, they'll sleep again. So your baby will probably take the second nap from about 1 till probably 2 or 2:30 and get up again. And then you feed, change, maybe shower if that has already gotten to maybe 6 in the evening. But I will not really advise you to bathe your 3-month-old baby, your 0 to 3-month-old baby twice a day. Even up to 6-month-old baby, just shower your baby depending on the weather. And if you realize that the weather is too hot, I want to really still advise for you to shower your 0 to 6 months baby twice in a day. You can wipe him or her in the evening, and you realize that by that time they're taking like their third nap. Their third nap is around that kind of 5, between 5 to 7, and then they wake up again. You continue with feeding, cuddling, changing of diapers, and the next time they are sleeping is around probably 9. And they might sleep from 9 till 12, and then wake up again, you feed, and you change their nappies, and then they sleep again from about, say, 12 till 3, and then they wake up again. For some babies, some mothers are really lucky because their babies start sleeping all night from about 3 months. They are sleeping probably long hours in the night, like 6 hours, 8 hours. But not all mothers experience that. And it is something that people don't talk about. They just feel like, why should you be complaining that your baby is not sleeping? It's something that you should be able to cope with. But nobody can cope with sleepless nights because your body needs to rest. Sleep is time that you refuel your body to get prepared for the next day. So if you're not sleeping, you obviously start feeling sick, start feeling low. Depression can even set in because you're not sleeping well. So that's it for the routine. If you have serious issues about putting your babies to bed, please get to us. Write us either through our inbox or leave a comment on our Facebook, because there are people watching from Inyango, our Facebook channel, both our Facebook channels. So if you have any problem with your baby sleeping, write to me and I will help you with a routine, a daytime routine, a nighttime routine, a feeding routine, everything you need for your baby to start sleeping well, because I understand what it means for you to stay up all night. My girl used to sleep like she gets up every 1 hour. Worst of it all, when you have twin babies and they're sleeping in the same room, when she wakes up and she's crying, obviously the brother will wake up. And in a case where maybe you're alone as a mother, what do you do? So it's really, really so challenging. I really pray that a lot of mothers get to this video, because you might have your first child and the child started sleeping early, and given that every child is different, your second child might come and they are not sleeping at all. So you need to know these things to help you if that happens. We don't pray that it happens, but in case it happens, you need to be equipped. Now, after you've created a routine for your baby who is probably not sleeping well, or you suspect that it's not sleeping well, what you can do next is, before you put your baby to bed, try to improve sleep hygiene. Make sure they are sleeping on a clean bed, soft cotton on the bed, not something which will give them heat or anything. Make sure the baby bathes before sleeping, or you wipe your baby before sleeping, because it makes them comfortable. Try to improve your baby's sleep hygiene. Now, after you've improved your baby's sleep hygiene, try as much as possible to feed your baby well before putting your baby to bed, because most times babies will get up in the night because of hunger. That's true, because with the manner in which they eat, they can just be sleeping and remember that, oh, I have to eat now, and they are up and they're like, yeah, what do you have to do? You have to get up. and breastfeed or give formula or make the baby get okay before the baby can sleep again, and then that's the only time which you as a mother can sleep. So let's go on. After you've improved sleep hygiene, you make sure your baby fits well before bedtime. Also, make sure the room is dark. That is one way which a baby can understand that this is nighttime and this is daytime. They spend a lot of time sleeping during the day, but during the day, try to make sure that even when the baby is sleeping, don't keep them in a dark room. Make sure that activities are still going on, there's still a little bit of noise, so that the baby begins to understand early that, okay, during the day, places are noisy. But when it is night, places are very quiet, places are dark and calm and peaceful. That is how you try to communicate to your baby and start to train your baby how to sleep more in the night. Because in the day, the fact that they sleep, most of their sleep, the rapid eye movement sleep, which is a lighter version of sleep, and they are getting all the noise. Normally, when they get noise, they'll get up. But in the night, try to make places peaceful, calm, and dark. Make the temperature not too hot, not too cold. Make it very comfortable for your baby, and your baby will sleep. Take all these things into consideration, because these are reasons why a baby might be getting up so often in the night and depriving you as a mother from sleep. You might feel selfish for thinking of the fact that you wish to sleep while you have a baby, but to make everyone safe, to make your family healthy, you have to try to get enough rest. Because if you're not getting enough rest as a mother, you cannot take care of anybody else. So if you love your baby enough, you should be here learning how to get your baby to sleep enough so you can rest as well and take care of your family. Okay, now let's go to the next point. I think I've given 4 already. Track your baby's sleep if you're worried if your baby is sleeping well. Number 2, create a sleep routine which you can stick to. A routine is something which you follow every single day. A routine is not something that you start today and stop tomorrow. With kids, repetition is what works. Repetition works 100% because it makes them know that they know what comes next. When you start a routine and today you do it, you skip tomorrow and skip the day after tomorrow, and then you do it again after 2 days, it just confuses the child's brain in total. But when you start a sleep routine and you stick to it, it is extremely hard to stick to it. When you start a sleep routine and you stick to it, in less than 2 weeks of you sticking to it and doing it every single day, your baby will start sleeping all night. At this point, I can make anybody sleep because it was a great struggle for me to make my twin babies to sleep. Now I put them in bed when they are not even sleeping, and they soothe themselves and they sleep alone. It was hard, and that is what a lot of African mothers go through. What I had to study to teach my babies how to sleep, what I and my partner had to study to teach my babies how to sleep, it was for whites. Like, everything there was for whites. I had to make my environment, like turn my environment to be conducive in that kind of way, and then adapt to our own African kind of system before my babies could actually sleep. It was work. It took me like 3 months to actually get my babies to sleep. But if you start early, so you start tracking the way your baby sleeps from about 2 months, by the time your baby gets to 3 months, 4 months, your baby should already be sleeping all night because you started the hard work early. You started it when their brains were just developing, and you created a routine for them, teaching them good habits. Because a child who doesn't sleep well is prone to have behavioral disorders. A child who doesn't sleep well most times is unhappy, is very fusy, is very clingy. The child always wants you to carry them, they get naughty. That is part of the reason, because they are not sleeping well. A baby who doesn't sleep well won't eat well. So most picky eaters, if you check it very well, they are not sleeping well. If you get your babies to sleep well, every other thing falls in place. If you're a mother here who is struggling to get your babies to sleep, or you just want to learn for future reasons, or you want to help a mother that you know, thank you so much for being here. And I really appreciate you taking this bold step, because it's a step which most African mothers won't take. Okay, let's go to the next point. Welcome, Lady Sheila. Wow, I can see you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Oh, Lady Vanessa is here as well, my own designer. Please try to check her page on Facebook, Class by Vanilla Lee. She is a wonderful seamstress, a designer. Calling her a seamstress is like reducing her value. Okay, let's go to the next. I'm so happy that you're here, Vanessa, because I believe you're going to pick something because your babies are right on the way. Okay, we talked about tracking your baby's sleep, creating a sleep routine. Creating a sleep routine might have to do with you creating an entire routine on how your baby's day goes. But first, you have to know how they sleep, and then everything can fall in place. The next thing, you have to improve sleep hygiene, which I've already explained. After that, you have to make sure the room is dark and the temperatures are conducive for your baby. Not too hot, not too cold. Make sure the room is quiet and peaceful. Now, on to the next one. I also said you should try to feed your baby very well before putting them to bed. Okay, now, the next thing, when you've actually succeeded to do all these other things, the next thing you have to do is encourage self-soothing. What most of us do with our babies is you carry your baby and cuddle your baby until they fall asleep in your hand, and then you go to put them on the bed. let me show you what happens. You go to put them on the bed and you're carrying them like this, and immediately you put your baby down and you're struggling to walk and leave. He or she gets up, and then you have to carry again and you continue the process. You carry and you cuddle and you're rocking the baby until the baby sleeps, and then you do the same and you're tiptoeing to go away, and then maybe you smash something and the baby gets up. Like it's just a roller coaster ride. If you try and encourage your child to soothe themselves, then putting your baby to bed will be so easy, because they'll understand that you put them to bed when they are drowsy. You don't go and put a baby who maybe is hungry, or the baby is still very agile and you want to put the baby to sleep. No, you carry your baby, you cuddle your baby. I encourage cuddling because it's the time that you and your baby can bond. You cuddle your baby and bond with your baby. Immediately you see that they are drowsy, you carry them and put them to bed. You can be tapping them. For a baby which you're just starting to sleep train, you can be tapping your baby on the bed and singing maybe a song. But make sure that your baby falls asleep on the bed, not on your hands. If you can start trying this with your newborn baby, you realize that before even 3 months, your baby will start sleeping. The problem is when we train our babies to sleep in our hands, and then at about maybe 4 months, that's when you want to start putting your baby and trying for your baby to soothe themselves. It's going to be hard because they have gotten used to you carrying them. Everything for a baby is a routine. Once as you start it and you continue it, they learn it, and that's what sticks to their brains. Because a baby is like an open book with nothing written on it. Every single thing you start practicing, that is what the baby adapts to. And for you to change that thing is going to be extremely difficult. So please watch out what you start with your baby. Okay, I said encourage self-soothing. The next thing which I would like to advise you to do if your baby isn't sleeping well or you're trying to learn how to sleep train is to ensure that the environment is calm. When you're going to put your baby to bed and expect your baby to soothe his or herself, you cannot put your baby to bed like that and you in a noisy environment and you expect the baby to sleep. No. Make sure the places are calm and everywhere is quiet. Or you can try some sleep music. But with African kids, this one mostly doesn't work. I remember that my girl at times, you put sleep music and probably she'll start sleeping, and then you think that she'll sleep for long, and after like 30 minutes, my God, while the sleep music is playing, she's up. While the sleep music is playing. So this one doesn't really usually work for African kids, though at times it might. Like the best sleep music I would encourage for you, it's usually called white noise. You can go to YouTube and check for some of them. This happens because I will recommend sleep music because even for you as an adult that you are, when the rain is falling, you realize that you sleep deeply. So the people who created this white noise or sleep music try to imitate these sounds. They either imitate the sound of rain or they imitate the sound of maybe a fan blowing. So when the baby is hearing that constant noise, it's white noise, it's calming noise, the kind of noise that makes you want to sleep. So some babies, it might help them sleep. So while you make sure your room is calm or the baby's room is calm, try to put some sleep music for your baby. Most times babies love to hear you sing. You can sing for them while you encourage them to self-soothe. Okay, another thing I would like to advise is don't let your baby get too tired before bedtime. A lot of us parents feel that when your baby has played so much, like they spend the whole of their day playing and then they are tired, they'll sleep better. But that is not true. Like in real life, that is not true, because a baby who is very, very tired will find it very difficult to sleep instead. So try to create time. After you've created your sleep routine, you'll be able to determine what time the baby is sleeping and what time the baby is up. So you can try to determine, to know that your baby is not too tired. Don't let them play till maybe 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. before you're trying to carry them, shower them, and then put them to bed immediately. No. Try to make sure that your baby stops playing maybe at least or at most an hour before bedtime, so that they are very relaxed. They understand that what is coming next is bedtime. You can read a book to your baby, though that's not something that most of us African parents do as well. If you can't read a book, just try to get your baby off the toys and off everything distracting, off maybe TV, off the phones or tablets. Your babies are using tablets at least an hour before bedtime. When your baby has mastered their sleeping habits, then you can take them off TV and toys at any time, and you put them to bed, and they'll self-soothe themselves and they'll sleep when it's time to sleep. Okay, after that, I have just a few more points to go. So don't let your baby get too tired before sleeping. And for the last one, try as much as possible to make sleep time fun. Most times our babies find it so difficult to sleep because sleeping time is like a chore. Like it just feels like it's a boring time when they are deprived from all the things that they are doing, and then you just want to go and put them to bed and let them sleep. No child loves to sleep. Most children don't love to sleep. They want to play the whole day. But we know as mothers that children have to sleep to stay healthy because they need the rest. It is when they are sleeping that their brain develops the most. So you have to try to make sure that sleep time is some kind of fun. An advice which I learned from the site which I learned sleep training is make your baby laugh before sleeping. And I do it today even with my baby. I do it today even with my baby who is my boy who is 2 years plus. For my girl, at times, she doesn't like you playing with her too much. Immediately she sees that you're going to put her to bed, she doesn't like the fact that you're leaving her. She's always worried about the fact that you're leaving her, which is very, very normal for babies. They always have separation anxiety. Most times they do have that. That is why when you're leaving the baby is going to cry. It's because of separation anxiety. They don't want to be alone and all that. But if you try to make sleep time fun time, then your baby is going to love to go to sleep. Now, when I tell my boy, night night, he runs and hugs me. Like he's so happy to go to bed because he knows that when we go to his room, I don't just put him to bed and leave him. We actually play and make him to laugh so much that when I'm going, he doesn't even remember how to cry anymore. So I tickle him, we play so much, we are jumping on the bed, we pray, and after the praying, when I'm saying amen, he falls to the bed. It's just so beautiful. When you make sleep time fun time, and you try to make your baby laugh before sleeping, it makes them sleep so soundly, and you will hardly have them wake up at night. Generally, babies who sleep well are more joyful, are more outgoing, are more welcoming. Like you can see the difference with my 2 kids. Thank God he gave me 2. So with everything that happens, you see a difference between the two of them. My girl doesn't sleep so well. She usually has this problem with you leaving her. So most times when you leave her, she's going to cry a lot first before she sleeps. But as she grows, she's beginning to understand that sleep time is sleep time. When mommy puts me to bed, she is not coming back because I make sure their room, the temperature is okay. I've dressed them well for sleep. They have eaten properly. And it is time for sleep. And I try my best to play with them, make them laugh even a little, spend a little time with them before they go to bed. The last thing you have to do is try to make sleep time fun time. Even for your 4 years old, your 5 years old, these tips can work, because there are times when you tell your baby when they come back from school, go and sleep, and they don't want to. A lot of babies don't like sleeping, but with these tips, oh my god, if you see how my boy sleeps, you're going to be like, wow, sleep time is so adorable. Yeah, he plays so much before sleeping, so it makes sleep time fun time, which helps him to go to sleep joyfully, happily, and he sleeps all night. But also, when you've created a sleep routine, it's going to make your babies to have a particular time that they will sleep and a particular time that they wake up. For now, my babies wake up mostly around 5 a.m. Like, no matter how tired I am, when I'm alone at home, I have to get up at 5. Because by the time they get up, and the good thing is when you sleep train, this happens. When you sleep train your baby, when they get up at night, because even us adults, we wake up at night. At times you wake up and go and pee, you wake up and you just don't feel sleepy anymore. And then after some hours, you're going to sleep again, which is very normal. It happens even with kids. But this is what sleep training does. Sleep training helps your baby to understand that it's okay for me to get up and not see anybody around and sleep back. So it gives them that adult impression of sleep. So it makes them to be able to get up at night. Maybe they feel the urge to pee. They get up at night, they're wearing diapers, they pee on their diapers, and then they go back to sleep without crying or making any noise, just understanding that, okay, I'll wake up and I'll not see anybody, and it's okay for me to sleep back without anybody coming to me. That is what sleep training does. If you make sleep time fun time, that is what sleep time is going to be for you. And if you train them early, you're going to be surprised at how beautifully they sleep even as they grow. Because I remember when I was a kid, I never liked when they tell me go and sleep, I just start crying. And it happens for almost all kids. When it's time for sleep, is mostly a struggle because of the way we have made sleep time to look like. So we have to try to make sleep time fun time. Okay, I'm going to go through all the points, all the tips which I've given now to help you make your baby sleep once again. And then that will be all for today, because I've already talked about how much sleep your baby needs. So the first thing you have to do is track your baby's sleep. If you think your baby is not sleeping as much as they need to, because tracking your baby's sleep will help you prove if they are having enough sleep or not. For number 2, try to create a sleep routine which you can stick to. Create a routine which you can follow every single day without skipping a day, because with kids, routine is what works best. And you have to understand that when you've created a sleep routine, every other thing is going to fall in place. The time which they eat is going to fall in place. The time which they play is going to fall in place. The time which maybe you have to bond with them is going to fall in place. Immediately you determine what time your baby sleeps. Okay, the next thing is, okay, I didn't mention this one. Reduce, when you start putting your baby to sleep, or you start sleep training, reduce the speed at which you go to carry your baby when your baby cries. A lot of us first-time mothers, immediately you hear your baby cries, you're onto them. Immediately you hear your baby cries, you're onto them. If you have made sure that your baby has eaten well, you make sure that their diapers or their nappies are not wet. You know that where they are sleeping is safe enough. Please, mothers, there is this thing going on social media now. Mothers put a lot of pillows around their baby beds for decoration, maybe for when you want to take pictures, and they let their baby sleep in that same environment. A newborn baby, 0 to 3 months, till maybe 4 months when they are started creeping and turning, till 6 months, is not supposed to have a lot of pillows around their bed. That is one of the causes of sudden death syndrome in children. A child can turn and a pillow covers the child's nose, and the child cannot turn the other way again, and the child can't breathe. We don't pray for that, but as mothers, we have to be very cautious. So please, make sure the environment is safe. Remove all the pillows. Let your baby sleep on the bare bed. The foam should just be soft and comfortable for them. If maybe you're using the wooden crib, you can try to put things which you know that are fitted under in the bed, things that cannot fall off, or things that your baby cannot pull and hold. because it is very, very dangerous to put those pillows all around your baby's bed. We might think of the beauty, but we don't think of the repercussions of the things we are doing. It looks very, very beautiful. So, so cute. If you are doing a photo shoot or you're trying to take some pictures for your baby, yes, you can put all your pillows. But when your baby is sleeping, please no pillows on their crib. Okay, I was talking about the third point, which is reduce the speed at which you go carry your baby, especially when they cry. If you're sure that the bed is comfortable, they are fed well, and they are not wet, and they are safe, please reduce the speed at which you go to carry your baby. Because immediately your baby cries and you go and carry them, and you keep doing it, excuse me, that is a routine you're creating. That is a routine you're creating. You're telling the baby, and the baby is recording it in the mind that each time I cry, my mommy is going to come immediately. So each time they just want, maybe they just get a little bit worried or they just wake up from sleep, the first thing to do is cry. So the next thing is encourage self-soothing, which works hand in hand with this. If you reduce the speed at which you go to carry them when they are sleeping, especially when everywhere is safe and they are well fed, they will start to learn how to soothe themselves. What you have to do is don't let your baby get too tired before bedtime. Don't think that if you leave your baby to stay up till maybe 11 o'clock in the night, 11 p.m., then your baby is going to sleep well. Instead, your baby is going to get too tired and it's going to make them more fuzzy. It's going to make them more naughty because they are very, very tired. So make sure your baby doesn't get too tired before bedtime. For number 6, improve sleep hygiene. Maybe you shower your baby or wipe your baby if your baby is still too young, or dress them in clothing which are not too thick when it's bedtime. For number 7, ensure the environment is calm and quiet at bedtime, or try sleep music. If your environment, you cannot make your environment that quiet, then please try sleep music and it's going to help. Sleep music is called white noise. If you're having these issues, you can check for some sleep music or white noise for babies on YouTube, and you see a lot of them. For number 8, make sure sleep time is fun time. If you make your baby laugh before sleep time, you play with them before sleep time, they'll go to bed happy and they'll sleep all night long. For number 9, feed your baby properly before putting them to bed, because one thing which makes babies wake up at night is hunger. So try as much as possible to feed your baby before your baby goes to bed. For number 10, make sure the room is dark and the temperatures are conducive for your baby. Not too hot, not too cold. And those are the tips I have for you today. If you think more, and we'll get back to you, or if you don't want your comment to be public, because a lot of mothers, when I tell them sleep training, they're like, what sleep training? The baby will eventually sleep. A lot of mothers don't know the importance of this until it hits you hard, until it gets to that point when a baby is like 8 months and your baby is not sleeping all night, and you've been waking up at night about 6 times for 8 months in your life, and you realize maybe you're adding weight, or you're feeling tired, you're feeling overwhelmed all the time. Then that's when they start looking for solutions, where you don't have to wait till then. Try as much as possible to get this now. Share this video so that other mothers can learn about this and know the importance of them resting, because if you don't rest, you're going to start feeling overwhelmed, you're going to start feeling so tired, and you won't be able to take care of your child or yourself or your family. At that point, who do you expect to take care of your child? Because your child is your number one priority. They depend on you for every single thing this life has to offer when they are young. So you have to try your best to be there for them when you can. And you have to try to take care of yourself if you have to take care of them. So those are the tips I have for you today. We'll be going live again next week, Friday. For now, we'll be going live every Friday at 6 p.m. to talk about one issue which comes with motherhood or the other, to help you and make thank you so much, Lady Vanessa. What was I even saying? Your comment just got me off. Thank you so much. Say me hi to her, and I thank God that she enjoyed this. We'll be going live every Friday, as I was saying, and we'll be talking about different issues that come with motherhood. We are going to make motherhood so easy for you that when you actually become a mother, or when you have your next baby, you're going to realize that things are going much more smoothly. At this point, I feel like having another child from all the things that I've learned while dealing with my two babies. But for now, no comment. We just thank God for everything which is going on, and we are staying strong for the two I have now. So that will be all for today. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you learned something. We are always going to be here every Friday, same time, 6 p.m., to teach you something or to learn from you. Anything which you have to say, please leave it in the comment section. I would like to go on and thank Lady Vanessa. I would like to thank Lady Sheila. I would like to thank Lady Maureen, who made it here today. I would like to thank Lady Joycelyn, by Lady Josephine, our able counselor. And I would like to thank Lady Rudy, Mama Gray, who made it here first. Thank you all so much for joining us today. In raising a child, take nothing for granted. In raising a child, take no information for granted. And when you have someone who gives you the right information, make sure you always ask that person questions so that you learn on time before you face certain challenges. Motherhood isn't easy to deal with. And if you get the opportunity to learn any little thing you can, grab it with all your heart and keep it close to your heart so that when you need it, you just have to implement. Thank you so much for joining us today. And that will be all from Inyango. Do have a beautiful evening and God bless you all.